Context and facts truly matter. So before we get into Trump's fumbling of the economy, just like the last time, Trump was handed a wonderful economy. Knowing how stupid his fan base is, I'm not going to say constituency, I'm not going to say voter base, because they have proven themselves to be a fan base. He could just ride it out and take credit for it, as he's done with so many other things, but he doesn't. He makes these bold, decisive, detrimental moves that tanks us every time. And Republicans do what Republicans have always done. They didn't start lying about their party and their politicians because of Trump. They didn't. I know a lot of people wish that they could say that, but they didn't. Okay? Because for generations they've said, well, um, economically, I do better under a Republican. How are you doing better financially / economically under a Republican when historically Republicans fuck up the economy? I'll wait. We're not talking about the top 1% because they don't say shit. They just sit back and they're quiet until shit starts really fucking up like it is now with Trump and the economy. But they will have consistently said this. Trump won't ride it out. Trump needs to have this bravado. I've said it before on my podcast. I think I've said it here a couple times. Trump thinks that he is Fredo. He thinks that he is in the Godfather trilogy. Like I said, let's get into it. Trump fumbles when asked why he blamed Biden for the bad economy. Biden, who was only president for 19 days and a couple hours in 2025, approximately 20%, these are rough numbers, approximately 20% of the year. So 20%, but approximately 70% of the year thus far, Trump has been president. And according to Trump, this should be his third term. So everything was his fault. Anywho, Donald Trump has happily taken credit for the stock market success in the past, but suddenly can't explain the market's current second quarter downturn weeks after his roller coaster tariff proposals rattled the economy. If you're going to manipulate the market, you got to be good at business. Oh no, I'm pretty sure he only watched the first movie because Trump is obsessed with the 1980s because it was a simpler time. There was no interwebs. People really didn't fact check all like that. And if they do, it took 3 to 5 business months to kind of sort of get pushed in the right direction. Why are you doing this? Why are you acting like you're abused? I've been sitting here working all day. You've been such a good girl. You've let me work. We've done a couple classes together. You were so quiet. They said you was the goodest girl ever. Now this. Don't fall for the banana in the top. I'm not about to fall for the banana in the top. She is laying it on thick. Oh my goodness. You frequently took credit for the stock market highs, and you said it was a reflection of how well you were doing in the polls, said the Independent's Andrew Feinberg at a White House cabinet meeting Wednesday. And then after you were elected, you said the stock market highs were a reflection of how well the transition was going and the American people's confidence in your upcoming administration. Who the fuck had confidence in this motherfucker? Nobody. Nobody. And before y'all go, well, the MAGA supporters, they had confidence. No, they don't. That's why they consistently lie. They say he says it plain and then act like they're the Trump whisperer. They don't have confidence in him, like at all. Okay? They don't have any confidence. Now, the stock markets are not doing well, and you're saying it's Biden's stock market, yet you are the president. Can you explain that? Asked Feinberg. But Trump couldn't. Hell, at this point, I want somebody to ask Trump to spell Trump. Too mean, not mean enough, jury's out. I'm not taking credit or discredit for the stock market. Okay. Trump said, before again diverting blame toward the Biden administration. Too soon, little too soon. Okay. Okay. I'll pace myself. I'll pace myself. I'm just saying that we inherited a mess. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You inherited chef's kiss of an economy. You fucked it up. Okay? You do not have a green thumb for money. You don't. It's like you allergic to money. you want it, but you allergic to it. Okay? Money to Trump is like a roofie. It ain't good for his system. It don't want him. Money, Trump be looking at money and money just be running. It's the runner, it's the track star. Yeah, that's how it is. This right. Hi, Miss Mamas. I'm just saying that we inherited a mess, he said, referring to immigration as an example. Yes, a part of the reason why the economy is shrinking. Because we talk about the stock market, okay? We talk about these tariffs. And what Trump is doing right now is affecting quite a few things. Companies are already telling their overseas manufacturers regarding their Christmas orders, like, chill. We don't know if we're going to be able to afford them. Don't even go into production. Remember, we're coming up on what, 250 years of independence next year. And we're supposed to have, Trump wants his big military parade. We're supposed to have all these fireworks from coast to coast. They've already told fireworks manufacturers, pause. We don't know if we can afford it. We're going to have to downsize everything. And then when you're getting rid of migrant workers and you're deporting people who contribute billions of dollars to Social Security, taxes, infrastructure, and the economy, you're going to shrink the economy. You're taking away from the workforce. And they love to act as if there's, like, society is split. Like, half of us work and the other half of us just spend. I don't know how you spending without working, but okay. But no, we are the consumers and the producers of services and goods. Yep, GDP contracted. Yep. Like, he's fucking things up from the rooter to the tutor. And then he knows he's fucking things up because a big part of what people are missing by his little analogy yesterday about the dolls, where he's like, oh, instead of the kids getting 30 dolls, they'll just get two. So many people are like, he's out of touch. He's out of touch. Who's getting 30 dolls? Who's getting 30? If you still spend time around your family, like if you have a large extended family, it's easy for kids to rack up that. But you have to realize he gave you the fact that things are about to decrease by 80 to 90%. Because that's approximately a 94% decrease. That's a recession. He's telling you that by Christmas, we're going to be in the throes of a recession. He doesn't think that he's fighting a war. He thinks that he's dangling the carrot of war in front of people, and he thinks that that's going to scare them. See, the United States hasn't truly been at war in decades, okay? We have not been to war in decades, and we really have never truly, in the modern era, been at war on our own soil. Other countries, war is a typical Wednesday afternoon. Okay? In other countries, war is already scheduled in every 3 to 5 business years. They're not scared of that. That's like walking up to the school bully and it's like, yeah, I'm about to beat your ass 3 weeks from now at 2:15. The school bully is generally getting their ass whooped at home and everywhere else and coming to school to let off what they can't get off at home. They ain't worried. They getting in trouble regardless. They might as well earn it. And that's how the rest of the world is looking at us. Plus, we owe the rest of the world money. That's like you pulling up on your debtors threatening them. Like that's going to make them relieve the debt. That would be like you going to your mortgage company or your gas and electric company, threatening them, talking about, you've been taking advantage of me too long. You owe me for this. I ain't paying you shit. And they're like, okay, yep, all your shit cut off. Like, Trump does not understand the scope of the presidency. He doesn't. This is why he thinks he can get away with all of these things. He thinks that it's just like an ultimate power. But he does realize that eventually he has to leave office. And when he leaves office, he knows that even though he's squashed all of these investigations and these court cases, there are people with the files that can refile, or because a lot of these cases weren't officially dismissed, they just kind of paused the proceedings by pausing giving information, that they don't care if he's 150 years old, they're going to prosecute him. Why do you think, y'all, he's living his best bucket list life? Going to the Super Bowl, talking about going to the Kentucky Derby. He knows he's fucked. Yep. Canada is like, what you know about rolling in the darkness? Like, Trump is living his best bucket list. He can't go anywhere. And all the MAGA dumb fucks that are like, yeah, all these world leaders are coming to the White House because, you know, they respect Trump and they're bowing down to him. No, they don't have a choice. He can't go to them. And I think it's funny that some of these world leaders that have visited Trump and are like, yeah, you should visit me in my country, knowing his ass can't come and knowing they're not going to change the rules. It is the biggest joke. Just like world leaders that are fluent in English, that will speak to reporters in English. Then when it's time to speak to Trump, will not say a lick of fucking English. But he's still sitting there talking about, yeah, you know, they bowing down to me. No, they're not. No, they're not, Taylor, no Swift. Okay. No. Melania Trump is Catholic, whether currently practicing or not. I think that has more to do with it. And I have noticed over the past few years, and no, I'm not a fan of Melania. No, I don't think she's a victim. I just say what I observe and I say the facts when it comes to history. A lot of these world leaders have a lot of respect for Melania. I think this is a case where Trump was the plus one. Yes, he is the commander in chief of the free world. And I loathe that the president of the United States has that as part of their title, because we're not even the freest part of this floating space rock, but I digress. I feel like he was the plus one. I really feel like he was the plus one. So yeah, and then he went over there acting like a damn toddler. I was waiting for Melania to turn around and find a switch, tell one of the nuns to slide her a ruler and fuck him up. Because there's a lot of scuttlebutt coming out of the Vatican regarding Pope Francis's funeral, that a lot of times Melania was giving him cues as to where world leaders were around him, who to speak to, how to speak, what to bring up, what not to bring up, what to do, what not to do. So take that how you will. Take that how you will. Yeah, so I mean, I think that had more to do with Melania, and you have to realize there were some times where Melania did crisscross with the Pope, and they kind of sort of technically worked together during her work and advocacy for USAID. Yes, the same USAID that Trump worked to dismantle. She did a lot of work with USAID. So did Ivanka Trump, because Ivanka Trump actually created and spearheaded two global programs for women through USAID, because the intent was to uh, create educational resources and entrepreneurial resources, and to connect women from the United States with women globally, to raise uh, women in business, women in politics, all those things. I am not the biggest fan of Ivanka, but the program was really badass. It really was. I wouldn't say God forgive melanoma, but I mean, every so often, they do something right. Like I said, not a fan of Melania or Ivanka, but they, through USAID, did some really good work. Can't deny that. They did some really good work. And y'all know me. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the indifferent, because I got beef with most people in politics. Actually, can't say most, all of them. Okay, I've yet to find a perfect politician. Yeah, so, and just like Pope Francis, was he progressive? Yes. Was he also regressive in some things? Yes. Was he a humble man by nature? Yes. Was he also a fucking bumbling idiot at times? Absolutely. He was still a penis carrier. He's still on my end. Men, don't get offended. Y'all know y'all ain't always that damn bright. So it didn't. I mean, some of y'all cute. Some of y'all are cute. Some of y'all need to shut the fuck up and never talk again. Like, you can't be stupid, ugly, broke, no sense of humor. And then, yeah, neither are y'all. I am quite. You know what? You have to come home to me. Tread lightly, sir. Tread lightly. I know where you sleep and I cook your food. Yeah, but I need some of y'all to pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. Some of y'all don't want to put bass in your voice all at the wrong damn time. Okay? Always popping out of. They always proving the point. Proving the point that we must keep them alive. Johnny Five is alive. And you know what? On my last account, I did follow Johnny Five. So if anybody comes across the Johnny Five account, please tag me so I can find it again. Because I don't think it's called Johnny Five. Or maybe I'm typing it in wrong. I don't know. All right. Let's round it out with these headlines. Metrics show the U.S. economy is contracting as Trump makes abrupt policy shifts. As you know, I thought we were supposed to be putting money back in America. I'm Johnny Five right now. My off-road chick. You are Johnny Five, isn't it? I don't know why I love that movie to this day. I'm such a big kid. I so love that movie. That is definitely one movie I could never ever get tired of. Okay. Economic indicators released this week revealed the U.S. economy is slowing down in the first quarter of 2025, but President Donald Trump and his administration are expressing confidence in his agenda. I don't think they know what confidence is. I don't, I don't think they know what. I don't think they know what confidence is. The administration has unnerved consumers and businesses with a chaotic tariff spree over the past several months, escalating trade tensions with China. Most economists say Trump's monumental bid to reshape global trade is likely to send inflation climbing in the US and could even trigger a recession. First of all, Trump is not trying to restructure global trade. He is trying to use tariffs as an intimidation tactic. This is why he's not telling anybody how to stop the tariffs or get out of having tariffs. It's a bullying tactic. Once again, Trump is acting as if he's acting like the United States government is the Trump organization. He's acting as if all these other countries are the mom and pop small businesses, migrant owned businesses, immigrant owned businesses that he would take advantage of when he was in the private sector. He does not understand geopolitics. He does not understand the scope of the presidency. We know he doesn't understand economics because the Wharton School of Business told us in an open letter during his first presidency that he's dumb as shit. He never did any of his fucking work, and they're tired of him saying their name. They were like, we are not Destiny's Child. You ain't got to say our name. Act like we don't know each other. Okay? You got amnesia. Okay? When it comes to us. Not just call your senators and your representatives. Send an email to Cory Booker. Send an email to Hakeem Jeffries. And I'm saying send an email and tell your story is because each time they're protesting, each time they get a mic in front of them, they're reading these stories. And it's beginning to chip away at many of the legacy Republicans. Now, there have been some Republicans that have covertly been working against Trump since this administration started, and they don't get a lot of pomp and circumstance. But like I said, they're working a little covertly. And this is why certain things are not getting through with a GOP heavy Congress. And also, whether Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, whatever, please let your party know what it is that you want, what it is that you need. Because a lot of y'all are complaining about things not going a certain way or certain legislation not happening, but you're leaving these politicians to try to guess what you want. And evidently they're guessing wrong because y'all ain't happy with shit. Every time they try to get you something, you piss the fuck off. Every time they try to use legal means to shut shit down so that two wrongs won't make a bigger fuck up, y'all piss the fuck off. So please tell these people what they want, okay? Figure out your politicians list. Think of it as if you're going to see Santa Claus, okay? Write down your list, check it twice, and hand it the fuck over. Stop expecting people to be able to read your mind. We are not avant. And trust me, I've seen some of y'all content. I don't want to read y'all minds. Big nasties. Big nasties. Justice Department seeks to block states from suing fossil fuel companies over climate change. We're fucked. Westworld, here we come. The Justice Department announced 2 additional lawsuits today against states planning to go after fossil fuel companies in court over their contributions to climate change. Those suits, filed in New York and Vermont, add to claims made this morning against Michigan and Hawaii. The Justice Department is claiming that all 4 states would violate the Clean Air Act, which directs the Environmental Protection Agency to regulate hazardous pollutants from power plants should they try to sue the fossil fuel companies. Y'all might come for me when I say this, but I don't give a shit because y'all can't whoop my ass. Don't let the smooth taste fool you, okay? Call me Indiana Jones. If you watch the movie, then you know what I mean. Okay. RFK Jr. definitively should not be HHS secretary. Definitively. You know where he would shine? The EPA. That's been his career. And he's been damn good at it. He's a fucking bumbling idiot and steeped in conspiracy theories when it comes to health, like the science part of health. But, well, the environment is science also, but you know what I mean. But when it comes to the environment and rules and regulations, that man has been top tier. The EPA would have been a better fit. And he would have tightened things up so much, this wouldn't have even been a topic of conversation. We would have legislation backed by evidence, because you can go back through and look at his court cases. He's tight with it. He's cold with it. It bothers me to have to say nice things about people who, but everybody's entire legacy is not bad. And if I'm going to be a true historian, I got to keep it real. But the EPA is where he should have been. The EPA is where he should have been. He would have had a lot of things codified for our protection in regards to climate change. There would not be Elon Musk's AI company dumping hazardous materials into the water supply of Black communities right now. Because once again, this is something that RFK Jr. has long fought for. If you all remember at the back at the beginning, the starting point of the race to POTUS Mountain 2024, I broke down his history and what he's known for and what he's good at. And he is good at it. He is good at it. That's why I was a little shocked when I found out that he had started a nonprofit regarding autism and food and healthcare. Like, bro, this is so far out of your wheelhouse. Now, can people be layers? Can they be a parfait? Yes, they can also be a fucking rotten onion. And he's a rotten onion. Now, we know Ron DeSantis, well, shit, he can't figure out how to say his last name, so fuck it. He itches the fuck out of the core of my soul and my spirit. I don't think if I drank 2 gallons of calamine lotion, it would make the itch subside. But over 1,100 undocumented immigrants arrested over 4 days due to Florida's partnership with ICE, governor says. As an undergraduate, my very first poli-sci class ever, my professor asked a question. He said, now keep in mind this was 1996. He said, why is there so little crime in Florida? People had a bunch of different answers. The answer was, a good bit of the population is elderly. That seems to be the destination spot for people to retire, or when people have younger children, they go there, and then as their children age, they move for the sake of education. And he also said, what is the crux of Florida's economy? And why do their politics look the way that they do? Migrants, immigrants. It's very, very heavy. Now, I don't know if you all remember, over the course of the past 3 years, there have been plenty of videos that I've seen all over social media of white men and women trying to be trained to take over the jobs that migrants and immigrants were doing. Like they were trying to learn how to roof inside an air-conditioned location. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, because, Border Patrol wasn't enough. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis touted a historic and first of its kind 4-day operation that led to arrest of 1,120 undocumented people at a news conference today. The arrest, part of a multi-agency crackdown called Operation Tidal Wave, were the largest number in a single state in 1 week in ICE's history, according to the news release from ICE. DeSantis, what are you trying to run for next? Because you can't run for re-election as governor. What did Tom Homan promise you? That you're willing to help him get his 1 million people. And I'm going to keep saying this to you all because the border czar wants 1 million people deported. He didn't say immigrants. He didn't say undocumented immigrants. He didn't say migrants. He just said he wanted 1 million people deported. 1 million people. Keep in mind, valid green card holders have been deported. Visa holders have been deported. People going through the immigration process the right way have been deported while at their court appointed scheduled meetings to go through the process. US citizens have been deported. People traveling into the United States have been accosted by ICE. And that's another thing that's going to affect our economy and further shrink it is the lack of tourism. Not just tourism coming into the country, but our ability to participate in international tourism. And before you go, Taz, but that would be us spending money in other countries. What do you do before you travel, Marsha? You want the cutest outfits. You might want some new luggage. You may need to get a babysitter for your kids. You're going to need a house sitter. You're going to need all of these things. Your travel agent is more than likely within the confines of the United States. Airline tickets, an Uber there, or gas. Snacks while you're at the airport. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Okay, sorry. In all, more than 200 state, county, and municipal law enforcement agencies across Florida have entered into collaboration agreements with ICE, and more than 70 others have agreements pending, according to the data from the Department of Homeland Security. This is why we're having so many fuck ups. We don't have enough ICE agents for the bullshit that's going on. No one is approving a budget to hire more ICE agents, and Holman doesn't have the patience to even train people that would be onboarded. So they're technically breaking the law by recruiting local law enforcement and then putting them in plain clothes. This is why we're having so many fuck ups. We're having all of the Barney Fife and Gomer Piles of the country going to round people up. People who could not properly execute warrants. In the past year and a half alone, there have been 3 times that warrants were served at the wrong home and it ended up in either someone being critically injured or being sent to the bosom of their ancestors. Oh, I've been snitching. I've been snitching. I've been snitching. Twice a week. To the UN, to the ICC, to The Hague, to Parliament, to various monarchs around the globe. Because one thing for certain, 2 things for sure. Yeah, you can play politics all you want, but learn your opponent. Trump and everybody in his administration want to look good and want to appear intimidating to the world. When you give the world their dirtiest little secrets, y'all don't act like you ain't never hung out with a bitter ex-wife, baby mama that's white. Child, listen. You already know they will teach you how to slyly drop so much information. And speaking of slyly dropping information, I know I haven't spoken on it, but the whole Unfuck America tour, I know a lot of people know that the origins, or so they think, of the controversy was Z, the person who put on the tour, originated it, going into a lot full of Black women and being anti Black, which is true. What you don't know is that as the live was going on, someone that was in the Unfuck America group chat saw what was going on, went to the group chat, was like, hey, I'm going to go in here and try to shut this down. They were like, who all is in this live? Oh, it's all black women. Maybe you shouldn't do that. No, I'm gonna go do it. Like, we really need to protect this tour. And Z said, hey, ask them about this situation, which was a traumatic situation for one of the black women in said live. So she went in, sent this girl in there with a grenade. The girl threw the grenade in there and it didn't go the way she wanted. So Z came in. The whole purpose was not to address the concerns, but shift the focus and be able to say that black women are easily distracted. Black women are so, y'all know. Y'all know. And then it's gotten progressively worse. And the fact that they have now recruited a few women and a few black people to carry a lie that is their new narrative, this ain't gonna go away anytime soon. But y'all know me. If I smell bullshit, I'll leave it alone until it fully uncovers itself. But I feel like that is information that people need to have and have in their back pocket, because there are people coming up trying to shift blame everywhere else, trying to come up with bullshit narratives out of fucking thin air. Now, let's not do that. Let's not do that at all. And rule of thumb, if you're not following JJ, you should. The letter J, the letter J. Prolific political content creator. And he's on a college campus, podcasts and all. Anytime I hear about a college tour and it does not include him and they're talking about politics, I'm a peace out. I'm a peace out. Just like there are certain content creators that if people are talking about, oh, we're going to DC to do X, Y, and Z, if those people are not included, I'm going to peace out, because you're not there for the best intent. You're not. All that was happening with the Unfuck America was nobody was being unfucked. People were just going to be doubly fucked. You were getting anti-blackness, transphobia, homophobia, racism from two sides of a fucking coin. That's it. They were the embodiment of both parties are the same, both sides are the same. That's what the fuck you were getting. And you were going to get their tap dancing coons along with it. The problem is they reached out to some people that are not coontastic. And they got exposed. They reached out to some people who are not racist. And they got exposed. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not about to cry for them. I'm not Argentina. Hey, bro. Also, a quick reminder. Like I said, subscriptions are now available here on this page. They're just $3.99. They're not $3.99, $2.99, $3. And starting Monday, there will be subscriber-only content, which will be mini classes for those that can't make it to my regular classes, just for you to get extra content, a little bit of, a little razzle dazzle. Also, if you enjoy my history content, like I alluded to earlier, it is available on Substack. That subscription is $8 for the entire month. If you pay for the year subscription, I believe they give you 2 months free. JJ, young black guy. What was I going to say? That's where extended journal prompts are, Black History Factoids. There's a podcast over there, a full blog, more in-depth Black history videos, and there's a wealth of information in the linked in my bio, I should say. Yeah. And do not forget, tonight on my podcast, Conversations with Taz, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, I will be streaming and discussing the town hall that will be filled with fired, I know they say laid off, but fired federal employees, and we will be going through discussing all of that. And once again, that is linked in my bio as well. If you missed any part of this live, I am streaming simultaneously on YouTube. So once we close, you can go over to the tube of you and check it out in its entirety. But thank you all for joining me. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Go out and get into some good trouble, but nothing, and I mean nothing, that requires bail money, at least not in this economy, okay? Absolutely not. Don't do